Yo, what's going on, everybody? And I think we're live. Testing the microphone, testing the audio levels. Always takes us a few minutes to get started. Testing the microphone, testing the audio levels. And that should do us. 1 2 1 2. A few minutes to get started. We're good. This is iPhone streaming. We have a camera down. 1 2 1 2. We're good. This is iPhone streaming. We have a camera down. Okay, I've muted everything, so there shouldn't be any sound loop back now. Welcome all. What we're going to look at today. Let's pull up the engine. I'm going to go through my code and refresh. I've been going through some of the animation stuff. I'll probably come back to tomorrow or maybe Monday now. Let's see, that's too close to my mouth. It kind of works. Shout out Bolt. Yeah, I last streamed properly just over 2 months ago. So I've had some time off and I came back to the channel. I came back to the channel 3 days ago, but I've not done a proper like teaching, like a proper session. I've just been getting feeling like it's time to continue and go all in again soon. Are you working on anything yourself, Bolts? I didn't put the music back on, I don't think. You're a bit lost. Just the engine. It will always be the engine. Well, probably for the next few months. Next few months for sure. Let's leave that Where can we leave that? No, we won't do that. Where are you from? Was you in the States? Yeah, it's, a lot of people struggle with determination, especially if they've not worked on large projects in the past. It happens. And then these channels can just help sometimes. Yeah, we'll say that. Yeah, it's not C sharp. C plus. This is C plus plus. What are you coding in yourself? I've only just hit live, so I'm just checking out that Twitch is connected as well. I always miss the chat in there, to be honest. Yeah, my brother does a bit of, well, he used to a bit of C sharp. Okay. Update bone transformation. Nope. Yes. No, to be honest, I don't know any of it. I guess they must be very similar. Maybe they're better with pointers. I know the namespacing was quite different, and like the scope of variables. You should code along, like work on your own project while you're chatting, or just work for 20 minutes, then have 20 minutes off, like 20 minutes on a something recreational, or even a coffee or whatever. It's I think it's a more efficient way to work. I don't do that, but it can help if necessary. And so also, if you like the project enough, you don't always need motivation. So just it needs to have an element of fun. That's my view. What's going on there? So I want to see if it just loads up the model, the animation, as a regular model. So even if it's got if it has animation properties now, it won't apply them. So it just wants to draw it, and then I can see if it just draws models, animations. Let's try this. Okay, I can already see error on the floor. Let's fix the lights. But it has loaded the man for sure. And it's rendering the lights, which is nice. Let's move those lights. So if I change that bit of code back, look, why is it doing that at the bottom? Can I load another one? It might crash. Yeah, it crashed. What is that exception thrown? Where's the call stack? I don't think you'll see the call stack. So I started, I did a course on Udemy. It was, I think it was $15 on a sale. Then, what was the other one called? edX.org, Microsoft Advanced C++ course to get certification for my LinkedIn. So the Udemy is, I will buy this game. Yeah, so, but Udemy don't give you any certification, which is sometimes important if you have, like, if you haven't got a portfolio. And so then I did a course with edX, I think it's edX.org. So I use my knowledge from udemy.com to get certification with Microsoft. And then I use that to get accepted for a master's in computer science and AI at a top 10 UK university, top 100 in the world. But then COVID came, so everybody dropped out because it was like $14,000, £11,000 for 1 year to be on a web camera, so everybody just quit. So then I just continued to self-teach. So this is me self-teaching. Everything's been self-teaching, but 15 years ago, self-teaching was self-teaching. Now it's a lot more going to YouTube. It's still self-teaching, but there's a lot more. You can learn anything now. The only thing you need is a level of intelligence to learn and discipline. Uni might be better because you'll have a friend and there's a few of you doing it together. And it's good to finish a long-term project. That's what uni's best for, creating discipline. In my experience. Okay, I don't know what was on the screen then. On your side. So how did you find me again? You subscribed previously or you didn't and it's just by chance? I'm just curious on the algorithm, to be honest. And where's the chat gone? Yeah. So this is just self-taught. Right, let's try and Hambone. Yo, Hambone. I think you're from Reddit, right? We spoke on Reddit and maybe YouTube as well. Yeah, I went hard on that IMG UI. I've got a bit of cross chat going on. Why is it not loaded? By the way, Hambo, if that was you from Reddit who did the animation, what was I doing today or yesterday? But I thought back to our chat on. I spoke to somebody on Reddit who had done some animations and implemented it, and I thought I need to message that guy because I've not progressed since then because of my travels. Yeah, sweet guys. Yeah, I saw you on Reddit. I'm probably gonna rewrite my animation. I thought I need to ask you where you went for that. Like I know I can just have a day off, delete my code, and pull up a tutorial and start clean, and it'll be okay. For those that weren't listening, that weren't connected the last 3 days, my DSLR, my streaming camera, was stolen out of my luggage when I left Palestine and landed in Barcelona. So I think the Spanish um, Palestinians, they record when they search your luggage, but so I think the Spanish security stole my DSLR, my streaming camera. So I left Spain after 3 days because I couldn't take any photos. I'd never been to Barcelona, and boring story, but this is where I've been. And so then I came back to here, home, to buy a camera. I got an iPhone, so now this is just off an iPhone. But then, because I was in Palestine for 6 months, I had, well, on and off, I had a bit of PTSD. Well, it's not diagnosed, but I was around some loud noises. I'm fine, like, no drama. But I had a time out. Yeah, okay, Bolt, cool. And come another time as well. So how is this a... So what I've done is I've changed the shader so I'm no longer loading... I'm just loading the animation as an object. And I'm not processing any bones or hierarchy. Just to see if there was loading, and there seemed to be. There's obviously a plane there that probably needs deleting from Blender or something. But yeah, I had my camera stolen. I had a bit of fatigue, and it was just a bad mix for learning shader code. Like I probably would have just continued and not had a rest if I wasn't so epically stuck. And I was just, yeah. I think what I need to do is share my screen more instead of, I'm just sharing a window instead of a screen. So then you can see my crashes as well. So I've only really streamed for like a month and a half ever. And I've got like 350 subscribers, and you only need 500, I think, until YouTube takes you to the next level in the algorithm. And then you guys can buy me cups of teas and coffees and all sorts. That's the goal. Shout out anyone in America. I know you got some interesting days politically coming up. Wait, we don't need that anymore. We're good here. Okay, so now if we process an animation, it'll process one. Hambone, if you're still there, which you might not be, this is my so the code side is, if you promise to not go back to Palestine, I'll get you a coffee. Officially took. Oh, the States. No. So Trump has said on his first day in office, he's just said it 3 hours ago, he's going to extend TikTok for 3 months whilst they work it out. So TikTok will be back in 2 days. It was trending on Twitter, X. I I have friends on both sides of the conflict. Going back to the Palestinian thing, which we don't do on stream, but yeah, I have friends on both sides, so I will keep going back unless I find out it was stolen near my camera. Yeah, so this is my code. A little tangent there. My dad likes TikTok. I've only just downloaded it, but I never go on it. I just download it in case somebody links me, and then I can watch the garbage. But really, it's all the same, right? Instagram, Twitter videos, YouTube Shorts. It's just entertainment, so why not? Like, if the channel gets to a couple of thousand subscribers in like, I don't know, in the second quarter, and I do shorts, you got to put them everywhere. So I'd put them on TikTok. So yeah. Okay, so this is the code. So the C++. Wait, where are we? So somewhere, where are we? No, not that. I've got a fan on. I've got a lot of lights from it. I bought some decent equipment, but it's just not set up. But there's a lot of light. It's hot. And I've got a fan making me flipping freezing. Not this. Yeah, is this it? No. Here. So I go here. I'm looping every model that I've imported, and I'm saying, what am I saying here? Animation controller pointer. What's passed in there? I don't think I could trigger that error anyway. So if we animation is 0 as valid animations. Okay, if the scene, if there's more than 0 animations. So I put, because I think some FBX files, it was saying there was more than 1 frame, but it wasn't necessarily moving. You could have a rock and it could have 10 frames, but it wasn't animated. It was just our Blender saved some animations. So I think that's why I did 2 checks. And obviously that's something you tidy up when you look at the animation files. And then we would say the Boolean. Where is this Boolean? It's valid, and then we pass that to the shader. By the way, if you're still there, do I need more background or less on the music? Or I'm just not bothered? So we then call the pass an empty matrix. Check for bones. So what got you, what was the biggest source of help that you had for animations? Was it a particular tutorial? No, that is helpful. That's what I think I'm doing, but not bones. I'm looking at something else. Historically, my levels tend to be a bit messy. Oh, I can see. Actually, last time I was paying for YouTube Premium, so I was using better music. but now I will get ads, so I've not looked into that yet. Okay, let me just check what will happen if I do that. That will happen. I wanted to just bring ChatGPT on screen, but it's probably not going to happen. So if it has bones, it must be animated. I'll just walk through. If you linked a tutorial there, you said I've just walked through that one. Is it possible, so this is ChatGPT, is it possible to check if the file or scene has bones rather than animations for a safer check? GLM bone matrix. Sorry, I'll be with you in a sec. Here. Yeah. What have you posted anything recently? I know you added animations, and then maybe it was reflections on scene. Maybe I saw that, but I've not seen much. I've not been on there since. Maybe that was a month ago, maybe longer. So I think I've added a bone check, which by the way won't fix anything. But it will be a safer check if it's working. Okay, well that's right. It's not drawing, but that's because it's broken, but at least it thinks there's animation there. Let me load a tree or a house, and then it should just draw it. Yeah. There's my famous cottage. Shout out whoever made this cottage, because it's probably been seen by 1,000 people. Are you OpenGL? Yeah, you are, right? Oh, I've got a crash there. Interesting. But why would it crash on my... Checking for bones when I hadn't loaded anything new. Access violation, number of meshes. I'll go away. Like you said, Wild West coding. Let's see if I can share the screen. Yeah, just a good old-fashioned crash there. Model pointer. I think it falls apart with this as well, somehow. Maybe there's is it possible to be no meshes? No, there has to be one mesh, right? This was where it crashed. There was an access violation, so it was going out of bounds here somehow. But if there's a scene, then there's got to be at least a mesh. I don't know how that would go out of bounds. I can come to that another time. So as bones is true. If as bones is animation. Okay, and then this is the shade of it. Just and this is the math. Calculate the bone transform. I need to put a switch in to force it to tell the code that something has an animation or doesn't, to like do that manually. Not now, but that'd be a good user interface little hack. So what have we got here? Let's go to I can't even remember the GL calls for, was it array pointer? Where are we? Not the null pointer. Buffers, to send the buffer data. It's in model loader. Sorry, that's why I didn't. Here we are. I was in the wrong file. Pointer just worked now. Here. So it's these two files here. So vertex position 0 to 4. Position and normal and texture coordinates must be fine because images are drawing I vector, integer vector. Three and 4, bone IDs, makes sense, and bone weights. That's the problem. So that name would have to correspond, right? Let's see where I'm sending those. It's not here, of course. Let's link you up. How do I put it? There we go. Bone matrices here. So pointed to the first position and the size. Bone transform. Is that the map? Yes. Hey mate, don't be an empty map. See, the problem with the stream is I'm just remembering all my code live on stream. Is it in animation? Yeah, so this is where it's being built up. I think I draw that to the screen in the user interface to debug it actually, to check for data. 6 people tuned in, that's the most people I've had tuned in since I was streaming 2 months ago. I'm just gonna get some water. Yeah, let me, I'm just gonna go to your channel now. Yeah, I already subscribed. So that's interesting because I didn't get... Okay, now I'll get an alert when you... And also, what so you must have streamed on Twitch, right? Because it's not showing up on... Everybody go to the Hambone, by the way. He's got Twitch and YouTube. He's doing better than me. You see, once I get animation, then I've also got models, because it's the same thing. So then you've got trees, and you've got wind, you've got weather, you've got characters. I've already got physics engine. I need to tidy it up. I've got physics in there. So you've got like a lot of things will come with that. I get a lot more views on YouTube, and then people just... So I just leave Twitch in the background, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Let me just get this drink. Is it wine or water? My leg's gone dead. Yeah, I've got these things. These I got these for like $100. I got two. There's one back there. I got the stands, but you don't need it, really. I think what people do when they become more popular, they go professional, and it just means that you build a system, a business that you then have to hold up afloat, and you create more work for yourself, and you become less passionate about that sort of stuff. No, I don't pay for any streaming. So I just use OBS, and then there is a... Okay, let me... Okay, so there's going to be a little streaming tutorial. I don't know how this is going to look, but if anybody's got any streaming is curious. So there's OBS here. And where are we? This is a plugin here for multiple streaming. Let's see what it's called. So all you need to do is Google OBS multiple stream output, and then what you can do... Let's see if this will come up as well on the stream for you. Yo. And then it will give you... So YouTube, you can choose your YouTube, and you can choose a bitrate for... I know you can't see all of this, by the way, but it's just enough. You can choose a bitrate. If I put the whole OBS on, it's just going to recurse. And you can choose a bitrate for that. But what I do is I use restream.io, I think is the website, and you get YouTube and Twitch. You get 2 streams for free. And then I use this plugin. You can see it's not started here. I've not pressed start. But if I want to go... I don't know if that's... I think it will just load up on Kick straight away. Yeah, so there you go. So now if you go to kick.com/Albert Reinstein, I'll be on Kick as well. But just this here, the hitting live, is on my settings. It's going through a restream, which is doing YouTube and Twitch just from the one button. So I send data once to restream, and they will send it again to both. So it's only costing me one lot of data. And then Kick is nothing to do with restream IO. That's coming straight from my machine. And then I have X as well, Twitter X, but you have to have a premium to do that, so I don't think it will work. Actually, it might send the data, yeah, but if you go onto my X, it won't be there. You have to load up X, and you have to tell it, you pay your £10, $12 a month, and then you also have to tell it to receive the stream, so that's not going to work, even though I'm sending it. But Twitch is probably working, and Kick, I mean. Yeah, stop streaming as a confirmation, doesn't it? Are you trying to get me to press stop streaming? To see if there's a confirmation. Hello. I wonder how that goes. Like, does that just go on forever? Okay, let's get you. So I've got my yes. You could be the first person that gets banned from here. But that's not how we do things. We just talk about people's mothers. That was a good one. My kind of troll. My kind of scum, as Jabba the Hutt said. Okay, what are we? Where are we at? Back to the code. Mums are okay. I'm child processing. C. Okay. Is that right? Tell me you're under 16 without telling me you're under 16. Oh! Cheers, Hambone. Okay, it's final transform. What is this? Update bone transformations. Put user in timeout. Okay, I'll put you in a 5-minute timeout. Mine got timed out. Wait till he comes back in 6 minutes and finds out it wasn't a 5-minute timeout, but it was forever. Okay, why is this just messing with me? I think the issue is the math somewhere. No transform. I go to ChatGPT, so I'll just talk you through what I'm doing rather than bringing it on the screen. Do you see any issues with my FBX async importer for animation? It's got enough context already. The function looks like it's structured well, but there are a few areas that could potentially lead to issues or could be improved for robustness. Error checking, you're already handling. Let's have a look. Yeah, they could all be. That could all be one check. Okay. I wonder how much time that saves, because there's still 3 checks. Either way, it will save time, but I just don't know how much. Okay, let's see what ChatGPT is saying. Make sure is node name valid, isn't duplicating the work of other checks. Okay. Find bone animation. This is actually one function I've not looked at in a while. So we're taking a bone name. Let's have a look. Let's run this. I need some more laptop stickers. Need to mix it up. Sorry, it wasn't loading. It is now. Hit subscribe. I need to get 140 more. Once I get 500 subscribers, I can create membership and various perks. I want them YouTube perks. I know some of you get excited when you see the engine. You start to feel like we're doing some real work. Sweet. Okay, open up a model. And not that one. I didn't trigger anything. Okay, this crashed where it crashed earlier. Number of meshes. Okay, if anyone's around and has used async, I'm running Apple on a, what am I running Apple on? On a Windows laptop. What is this? Async. Okay, so we're looping. We've got an access violation. I don't know how. How can that happen? I is 0. Is it the meshes? How can I get an access violation here? I mean, no pointer has to be the only one, which is what it's telling me, which I understand, but I don't know how the scene could be no pointer if we've got this far. Okay, what we need is to get rid of that. And let's load it again. Okay, so is that what we wanted? Interpolate position. Okay, that's a wolf apparently. Now I've got another error. Let's have a look where we're at. I know, that's strange because it's let us continue. And I don't think I'm in debug mode either. I didn't want it to let us continue. I wanted to see what line the error was on. I said async anyway, not async, yeah. That's networking. No textures either. Okay, that's the same crash, but I recognize that error code, to be honest. Hit subscribe, help me get those 140 more subscribers. If you think you might drop by another time. Why if has bones and break, just else return if has bones break. I only just saw that message. Was you referring to here? You wasn't, was you? Let's see where we're crashing. Oh goodness. Because if it has one bone, if it has bones, then we're passing this to the shader code to say that it's an animation. And we only need to know, what did you say, return? Because then we do something with that data. We're continuing here. We're not returning. We need this. Wow, it's nearly 5 AM here. And let's see what Twitch is saying. Nothing. Wow, what's with the darkness? That's something to do with the crash. In fact, that is this. Yeah, I'm gonna say the maths is off. Look, so that's the animation. That's the time. That's the time passing for the animation. Would you say that's working or slightly off? But at least I'm happy anyway. It's good to be streaming again. Okay, so if as animation is 1, what do we do? We pass the root node and we go recursively here. And we fix the error check. Okay, I'm going to continue through what we had to fix this. It was the find bone. Okay. So it didn't trigger these earlier when I loaded up. Now that would be the problem. Okay, what have we got here? We don't want that breakpoint. You can't see that. Excuse me. So does that mean it didn't try to find the bones? The bone names? But if so, it shouldn't give us any movement. This is a man walking, by the way. Ah, there's him, his head. His legs, maybe. Let's give him some light and get some dimensions. Wild. So what are you looking at? You're looking at an engine that I've started to create in C++, and which is the coding language, and OpenGL, which is the graphics coding language. We're using a laptop, Microsoft Visual Studio, which is free. All the knowledge I've taught myself or tried to teach myself, you can get it off YouTube. We're working on animations. Whenever you catch me on a stream, something's always going to be broke because I'm doing everything live. So and I'm always learning a new subject, which now is animations. And then when we master this in the next 2 weeks, I will then immediately move on to the next thing. So when animations will be nice, then the next thing will be broke. And that's how it's been for 6 months. We have a terrain engine, so we can generate terrain. And it's going to be a God simulation or a real-time strategy or something. We have some water reflections and all that. The grid just helps us to see which way we're facing. Because when you're here, you don't know which way is up and which way is down. And a grid will help you. Unless you get too far away from it. And we have sort of, not weather, but we have a bit of an atmosphere with the clouds. You'll see they will just move around. There's tools in for day and night cycles that I'm not necessarily sort of coded, not plugged in, but there's a start with skies, time of day. If we get the colours right, you get a bit more. Add more details to the land. What else do we have? Different textures you can import. I've not even touched that for a while, to be honest. But I think we can import textures here. What is it? For example, rock. I can't remember. They've got different textures. You can see here there's a name where I've just ripped a file that it was allowed to use if you kept the watermark on. Then I had some tools to blend as well. So you can, here there's like a hard from grass to rock, although you'd have it the other way around, you'd have the grass at the bottom. I've not touched this for a while either, so I'd have to look at my parameters, but you could, you'd have a transition. There you see. And you'd flip that, you'd have it the other way around. These are low quality textures. And you could have it anyway, really, but it's just a bit of detail. Now, I want to do that. That's a bug I'd never seen. So it's what I've done when that's kind of okay, but when I add the user interface, it's not loading. It's only loading default texture. And this is how coding is. Sometimes you find a bug that you've never seen before live on stream, and it's just fun. So this is moving the light source across the land. We can say we want mountains harsher but not as common. So now we have higher but not as many. And also I think the water is no longer reflecting. This is not just the showcase of bugs, but it's not reflecting the mountains, only underneath the basin. Let's have a lot of mountains and a bit lower. Or rock, they're not necessarily mountains. So lower and a lot, just messes it up. But this is your engine basically. So higher, you've just got tools to create things with. some sun brightness, which it was missing. And get the... But the code from some of those effects was really quite rough. Whenever I coded those. But the point here is you're supposed to, so you would load multiple textures and blend in different ones to each other. And it's going on the y-axis based on its height. And you'd have grass underwater, presumably somewhere. Let's look at the code for that. Will that give me... Shaders. So these are all the files. So these are the textures when you load up. When I type in a name here, clear textures, and then I would type in... by the way, if you've used IMG UI, I think we've got 3 here. Why has it got 3? Maybe I'm looping a function, or I'm calling a function multiple times. Maybe a render. I'm rendering the scene more than once for reflections, and it was drawing everything 3 times, so I fixed that, but I forgot to fix it here. You can just use a boolean, see if it's already been drawn. I know somebody would have had that error. What would we have? Cliffs, maybe, I think it was called. Yeah. So what it's doing is I've loaded, I think 5. So then it's, for these 3, 4, 5, a sampler 2D is for texture files. I've now got these variables, the grass texture and the high grass and the rock, a high rock and the peak of the mountain are all loaded with one file called cliffs. So if I go back here, this should somehow, yeah. And it's ugly because it's an ugly image. It's simple, it's just an ugly image. But then you could change your levels here somehow. But because all 5 are the same image, it's not gonna do. Now it's black. Why is it black? Because those 5 textures now, they don't exist. And then I always have a base texture, which I'm leaning based on the slope angle. So what you'd normally do, I think. Yeah. So then that is just loading up on the higher, where the angle is I, you're getting grass coming in, but not on the flats unless you go further. So then what you'd normally do is flip it the other way around. So you'd have grass on the flats and maybe the cliff face on the steep angles. And that is done Maybe, where's that done? This is like code from a year ago, to be honest. With terrain height, no. I think maybe we had a slope calculated. Nope. Letters. Angle. Nope. These thresholds were for the different textures. I didn't realize you couldn't see earlier. These are the variables that we have. So I was loading the grass texture or the peak texture and the cliff texture into here. And then let's say we go to grass and we can blend in grass with the next texture based on the height. So we choose at what level to blend it in. If the level we've chosen is below a given the water threshold, that's when we'd use the water texture, which I think was just the lower one. Okay. Well, it's 5 AM exactly. So that means I have to go. Hit subscribe. And then it will be animations being fixed in the next 10 days. Good night. I'll just check in on Twitch.